The Confederation War Council chamber fell silent as the human representative limped into the room. Commander Marcus Chen moved slowly, his gait uneven, one leg clearly weaker than the other. The assembled alien commanders exchanged glances, some amused, others pitying. "This is Earth's champion?" General Vexthor clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among the Krathen. His exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber's harsh lights. "We face the Dominion's finest warriors, and humanity sends us a cripple?" Chen said nothing. He simply took his position at the tactical display, his face impassive. Admiral Ceres of the Quilon delegation coiled her serpentine body tighter. "No offense intended, human, but your species is already limited. You possess no natural armor, no enhanced sensory organs, no psionic abilities. And now you arrive injured? Perhaps Earth should reconsider its participation in this campaign." "My injury is old," Chen replied quietly. "Combat wound. I'm here because I volunteered." "Volunteered?" Vexthor's laugh was a chittering sound. "Noble perhaps, but foolish. The Dominion is sending 30,000 troops to Outpost Kepler 7. We have 5,000 defenders. Every soldier must be at peak capability." Chen pulled up a holographic display. "I've reviewed the terrain. The outpost sits in a canyon with 3 viable approach vectors. If we position forces here, here, and here—" "We know basic tactics, human," Ceres interrupted. "What we need are warriors who can execute them. Can you even run?" "Not quickly," Chen admitted. The council chamber erupted in derisive sounds, clicks, hisses, and guttural laughs. Chen waited for them to finish. "But I can fight," he said simply. 3 days later, the Dominion forces arrived at Kepler 7 like a dark tide. Their troops were Vexkai, brutal, efficient killers standing 8 feet tall with forearms and bioengineered combat enhancements. They had crushed 17 outposts in as many weeks. The Confederation defenders took their positions. The Krathen with their heavy weapons, the Quilon with their speed and venom, the crystalline Lumini with their energy manipulation, and one human, assigned to the northern corridor because it was considered the least likely avenue of attack. Commander Chen checked his equipment one final time. Standard kinetic rifle, combat blade, medical kit. The other species carried exotic weapons, plasma throwers, sonic disruptors, molecular destabilizers. Chen had bullets and steel. The Vexkai commander had made the same calculation as the Confederation Council. The northern corridor was too narrow, too easily defended. Which is precisely why he sent 500 of his best troops through it as a diversionary feint. They found one human waiting for them. The first Vexkai warrior that rounded the corner saw an apparently defenseless target and charged. Chen shot it twice in the center mass. The creature stumbled but kept coming. Their biology could sustain massive damage. Chen's third shot took it through the eye. The next 5 came together. Chen's rifle barked continuously, each shot precise, each one finding a vital point. Eyes. Throats. The small gap in their chest armor where the primary heart sat. The Vexkai had strength in numbers, but Chen had something they didn't understand. Desperation refined into skill through 10,000 hours of practice. A warrior got close. Chen's blade flashed, finding the nerve cluster behind its knee. As it fell, he shot the one behind it. He moved like water through the narrow corridor, his injured leg forgotten. His body remembering rhythms drilled into muscle and bone. The Vexkai kept coming. Chen kept killing them. In the command center, the tactical display showed something impossible. The northern corridor, the afterthought defense point, was holding. More than holding. The enemy advance had stalled completely. "Get cameras on that position," Admiral Cyrus demanded. "Now." The screen flickered to life and the council fell silent. The human moved through the Vexkai like death incarnate. His movements weren't elegant, they were brutally efficient. He used the terrain, using the narrow walls to limit how many could attack at once. He used their bodies, creating obstacles from their fallen. When his rifle clicked empty, he drew his sidearm. When that ran dry, he used his blade. When they thought they had him cornered, he triggered charges that brought the corridor ceiling down on their heads. "How is he still standing?" Vexthor whispered. "Look at his vitals," one of the technicians said, pulling up Chen's biosigns. "His adrenaline levels are off the charts. Heart rate at 190. He should be in cardiac arrest." "He's dying," Ceres breathed. "His body is destroying itself." "No," said General Cross, an elder Lumine who had studied humans extensively. "He's not dying. He's doing what humans do. They call it hysterical strength. When faced with certain death, human bodies can override every safety limit. They can push past pain, past exhaustion, past rationality itself. Their minds flood with chemicals that make them faster, stronger, and utterly fearless. It's an evolutionary adaptation from being prey animals on a death world. But the cost is irrelevant to them in that moment. Humans don't have armor or claws or venom. What they have is the ability to look at impossible odds and decide to fight anyway. On screen, Chen triggered his last explosive, collapsing the entire northern approach. Dust billowed through the feed. When it cleared, he was still standing surrounded by bodies covered in blood, most of it not his own. The Vexkai commander, watching his diversionary force get annihilated by a single opponent, made a fatal error. He committed his reserves to the northern corridor. The main assault faltered just long enough for the Confederation forces to regroup and counterattack. By nightfall, the Dominion was in full retreat. They found Chen sitting against the corridor wall, his rifle across his lap, still breathing despite wounds that should have killed him an hour ago. Medical teams rushed forward. "Told you," he said to General Vexthor, his voice barely a whisper. "I can fight." The Krathan general clicked his mandibles, but this time it wasn't laughter. It was respect. "Yes, human. You can." Later, when Chen had been stabilized and the battle analyzed, Admiral Ceres asked him the question they all wondered. "How did you keep going?" "Your body was shutting down. The pain alone," Chen smiled faintly. "You think humans are weak because we're not built for war. But we're from Earth. Everything on our world is built to kill us. We evolved to survive by being too stubborn to die." He paused. "And because someone has to stand in the gap. Someone always has to." The Confederation learned something that day. Humanity's weakness was their strength, because a species that could be broken so easily had learned to refuse to break, and that made them the most terrifying warriors in the galaxy. After all, what good is natural armor against an enemy who simply will not stop?